Hello and welcome to No Win, No Fee, the show where all 12 of these contestants are hoping to win £4,000, and I'm hoping that they don't, because I do not get paid for presenting this show. In fact, if one of the people here takes home that money, I go away with absolutely nothing, with zero. No win, no fee for me. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at my contract. Here's what it says in black and white. Remuneration. The presenter agrees that he shall receive no fee for providing the services. In fact, the only way I make anything is if this lot fail to get that £4,000, then I go home with some money. So let's meet the people who are standing in the way of me and my fee. Colin, Guy, Beverly, Dermot, Nicole, Jane, Tony, Gary, Yvonne, Ali, Simone and David. Now, you are all complete strangers to each other. You've only just met, and all you know about each other are your first names. This is a game of assumption and presumption. I'm going to ask you to choose players who you think will get a question wrong. It's sudden death. It's all about intuition and first impressions, reading body language. There are 12 of you here now. In just a few minutes, there are going to be only 6. And we're going to start by randomly choosing one of you. Here we go. Who's going to be first up to select a question that somebody here will get wrong? And it's Tony. Tony, we hope you're a good judge of body language. We're going to find out right now as I ask you to join me and choose a question. So, Tony, you're going to get a choice of 2 questions. You've got to choose one that you think somebody will get wrong. Which one do you think you're going to go for, top or bottom, Tony?
I'll have the top, please.
The top question?
Yeah.
OK, we're going for the world of film, cinema. Scan them all as I read the question. Which actor starred in Awakenings and The King of Comedy? Few smiley faces. Simone is smiling. She might know the answer. Or maybe she's bluffing. Jane is being very impassive. Look at that very fixed stare straight at you. Colin, like that, very mean and moody. But you've got to choose somebody to get it wrong.
I'm gonna pick Nicole.
Nicole, will you join us and face your question? Why Nicole, Tony?
Well, I was just looking to see if anybody's eyes moved or anything else like that, and sort of like, just a bit of hesitation there, sort of like films. Didn't like the sound bit, if you know what I mean.
Nicole, to stay in the game, you've got to get this question right, and you'll have the satisfaction of pushing Tony out of the game because he chose you because he's sure you're going to get it wrong. Here we go. Which actor starred in Awakenings and The King of Comedy? Take as long as you like. Are you still pleased you chose her?
No.
Why not, Tony?
Oh, no, because she just went to answer it straight away.
Would you have known the answer?
Yeah.
But maybe she's going to give us the wrong answer.
No, I was too confident.
We'll find out. I'm going to read the question again, Nicole. You must get it right to stay in the game. Which actor starred in Awakenings and The King of Comedy?
Well, I've seen Awakenings, but it's a bit sketchy, but I think it's Robin Williams.
He was in Awakenings. He wasn't in The King of Comedy. The answer we were looking for was Robert De Niro. Nicole, you are wrong.
Right.
Which means, Tony, good judge of character, although he was a bit nervous at the end there.
Yeah.
Tony, you go through to the next round, please. Nicole, I'm happy to say you're out.
Thank you.
OK, 5 places left in the final round to play for what I like to think of as my £4,000. Who's coming up next to choose an opponent to get the answer wrong? Who's up next? And it's Yvonne. Yvonne, we wish you well on this one. We want you to be a good judge of character. Come and choose your question. OK, you do get a choice. But remember, it's not so much what you know as what you think these people might know. Which one do you want to go for? Take your time. Top or bottom?
Bottom.
OK, now I'm going to read that question out to your opponents. Then you've got to select the one person you're pretty sure will get it wrong. Which 2 oceans meet at the Cape of Good Hope. Who do you think might not know their geography? Who may not have travelled much?
I'm going to pick David.
David, will you come and face your question? Now, why David, Yvonne? You hesitated a bit, but then you seemed to be pretty sure you wanted him.
It was the first person I looked at when you asked me the question.
First impressions count in this show, but people can bluff as well.
Yes, I know.
OK, now, David, you have to get this answer right to stay in the game. If you get it right, though, you stay in, Yvonne goes. Here we go. Which two oceans meet at the Cape of Good Hope?
I'm going to go for the Indian and the Pacific.
The Indian and the Pacific. Are you still pleased you chose him?
That's what I'd have guessed too.
Well, the answer is the Indian and the Atlantic. So, David, you are wrong. Which means, Yvonne, you go through to the next round. And, David, I'm delighted to say you're out.
Luck.
Cutting them in half now. Only 6 people go through to the next round. Only 8 possibilities left. Who is up to choose a question next? And it's Simone. Join us now and choose that question, Simone. Would you rather be choosing or answering, Simone?
I think I'll choose, please.
OK, you haven't got an option now because the light has chosen you. Which one do you fancy? Top or bottom?
Can I go for the top one, please?
OK, that's the question you've chosen. I'm going to read it out, and you've got to choose somebody you think, you're convinced, you're sure is going to get it wrong. If they get it right, you leave. If they get it wrong, they go and you stay in the game. Here's the question. Watch their reactions. What nationality is golfer Jesper Parnevik? Bit of a twitch of the leg from Ali. Is that nerves or is he eager to get up here and answer that question? But you've got to choose somebody to get it wrong.
Jane.
So you've chosen Jane. Will you join us and face your question? OK, Jane, you have got to get the answer to this right to stay in the game. What nationality is golfer Jesper Parnevik? She could be bluffing even now, Simone. Because if she knows it and she's through to the next round, she might want the other people to think she's lucked into it. Maybe golf is a strong subject.
Very good bluffer.
I'll ask it again, Jane. What nationality is golfer Jesper Parnevik?
I'll settle with Croat.
Croat. If you're right, you stay in the game and it's goodbye, Simone. If you're wrong, Simone stays in. The answer is Swedish, so you're wrong, Jane.
Sorry.
That's all right, I'd never have got it.
Which means Simone goes through to the next round. Well done, Simone. And Jane, I'm happy to say you're out. And the random lights are flickering again. We're going to choose somebody else to come up and select a question. Who's it going to be? We're halfway there to the next round. Only 3 places left. Oh, and it's Colin. Join me and choose your question. Two options, top and bottom. You take a look at them. You've got to select a question that you think one of the remaining contestants is going to get wrong.
Top one.
We're going for the top question from the world of rock and roll, popular music. Here's the question. Which member of the Rolling Stones had a daughter called Dandelion? So what are you looking for, Colin?
Well, Beverly's smiling.
She's smiled since the first question.
Has she? Oh, I haven't been in this position, so I haven't seen her. Guy's looking a bit worried. I'm going to go for Guy.
OK, Guy, he did say he thought you were looking worried. Let's find out whether you're right to be worried. Will you join us and face your question? You have to get this right to stay in the game, Guy. Why did you go for Guy? Just that concern on his face?
He looked a bit concerned, and he doesn't look like a rock and roll sort of guy to me.
OK, Guy, you've got to get this one right. Take your time. Which member of the Rolling Stones had a daughter called Dandelion? Why are you thinking? Why did you go for that question? Because there haven't been too many Rolling Stones members, have there? I mean, you know.
No, but I can't remember what the other one was. It just seemed like the best choice.
A good one at the time. OK, Guy. Which member of the Rolling Stones had a daughter called Dandelion?
I'll
I'll go for Ronnie Wood.
Colin Guy saying Ronnie Wood. The answer is Keith Richards. So, Guy, you're wrong. Which means, Colin, you are through to the next round. You chose correctly. Off you go. And, Guy, hey, it's been fun knowing you, but I'm really happy to say you're out.
There you are.
4 people left, only 2 places in the final round. Who's up next? Who's going to choose a question and then pick an opponent to get that question wrong? And it's Ali. Big choice ahead of you. Join me now and choose your question. Okay, a choice of 2, top or bottom. And remember, it's not so much whether you do or don't know the answer, it's what you think other people know. Which one are you going to go for?
I think I'll go for the top one.
The top question. Now, study the reactions of people here. You've got to select somebody to come forward and give you the wrong answer. Here comes the question. In which Chinese city is the Forbidden City? Now, I think for the first time, Gary has stopped looking straight ahead. He flickered a bit. Dermot still looks like he's been carved out of stone, to be honest.
I think I'll go for Beverly.
So it's Beverly. He said it was a tough call. Beverly, will you please face your question? So, Beverly, you must get this right to stay in the game. Ali is banking on you getting it wrong, though, because if you do get it right, Ali, you go.
Yep.
I'm happy. Either way, I lose one of you, so I'm a bit closer to £4,000. Otherwise, I get nothing. Beverly, take your time. In which Chinese city is the Forbidden City? Still happy with your choice, then?
I'm not sure. I think maybe, actually, when she was looking quite scared, I think maybe she might have been putting it on.
Bit late to change your mind now, because
Definitely.
Beverly's got to answer the question you have chosen. In which Chinese city, Beverly, is the Forbidden City?
Beijing.
Beijing is the answer. You're right. Which means, Beverly, you take your place in the next round. Ali, I'm happy to say, you're out. Just 2 people left, playing against each other for the last place in the final round. But who'll be choosing the question? Will it be Dermot or will it be Gary? And that last flicker of the lights means it's Dermot who's going to join me to choose a question. Here you go. Choice of 2, but just one opponent. We're going to leave Gary there as I read the question to give him just that bit of thinking time everybody else had to make it fair. But you've got to choose a question to put to him. Very important. Just one place left in the final. You may have weighed him up a bit already.
I'll take the top question, please.
We're going for the top question. This is the one that Dermot thinks you're going to get wrong of the 2. Gary, which musical does the song Cabaret come from? OK, you looked at his reaction at just a second there. You still pleased you chose that question?
It's hard to say. It just looks inscrutable.
OK. Chaps, take your places. It's time for Gary to face his question. So you must get this right, Gary, to get that final place in the final round. Dermot's banking on you getting that wrong. Chosen at random. He picked the question. You take as long as you like. Which musical does the song Cabaret come from? Having a think about it. Now, this could be a bluff. It looks to me like he's going to make a guess, but, you know, he could be bluffing on this one because he doesn't want to give... Maybe he's so confident he's going through, he doesn't want to give this lot any ammunition to judge him for the next round. Or maybe he really hasn't got a clue and he's rattling through all those musicals. That's the question for the last place in the second round. Which musical does the song Cabaret come from?
I don't know. I'm going to go for Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. OK. Recent musical out called Moulin Rouge. There was an old film starring Jose Ferrer playing Toulouse-Lautrec as Moulin Rouge. But the song Cabaret for the last place in the second round comes from the movie starring Liza Minnelli called Cabaret. So, Gary, you're wrong. Which means, Dermot, you get the final place in the second round. Take your place. And, Gary, it gives me great pleasure to say you're out. And well done to our 6 remaining contestants for getting this far. You've managed to eliminate your opponents, either because you're a good judge of character, because you're clever, or maybe you've just been lucky. But let's also hope you've been paying attention to everybody else's strengths and weaknesses, because now it's time for you to go head-to-head with each other. And, of course, with me. Why me? Well, because if none of you win, I put £4,000 in my pocket. Otherwise, I get nothing from this show. So I hope it's no win, no fee for you, as we all take one step closer to that money. Now, in round 2, things definitely get much trickier. Judgment of character is now absolutely crucial, because you've got to choose an opponent before hearing the question. I then read that question, and to stay in the game, you tell me if you think your opponent is going to get it right or wrong. And as always, we start by choosing one of you at random. It's about judgment and assessing other people's reactions and how they're going to perform under pressure, and about their general knowledge, expertise. Who's up first, I wonder? And it's Beverly. Beverly, I hope you've been paying attention to the way other people have been reacting. Will you join me and choose an opponent? Okay. Well done for the first round, by the way. Survived there. Do you find that quite easy, that one? Question about Beijing?
It was okay.
It was okay.
There weren't too many Chinese cities to go on, really. So.
This is tougher, this one, though, isn't it? Because without hearing a question, you've got to pick somebody whose reaction you think you're going to be able to interpret correctly. Who's it going to be?
I'll have Colin, please.
Colin, come and face your question. So that's the question. Why Colin?
I think he looks like he knows whatever the answer's going to be, so even though we don't know the question yet.
Thank you for that.
Must be so nice to live in hope. She hasn't even heard the question and she's convinced Colin. He knows it. He's a walking encyclopedia.
I think so, yeah.
OK, now, Colin, you must get the answer to this right to stay in the game. You must give me a correct answer or you're out. Now, you can give me a correct answer and Beverly can say you're going to get it right and you both stay in the game. But if your answer's wrong and Beverly thinks you're going to get it right, I'm happy because I get rid of both of you. Here's the question. Don't answer straight away. Who replaced the late Alan Clark as MP for Kensington and Chelsea? It's tough, isn't it?
It is.
Would you have known this?
I'm not sure.
See, I think he hasn't got a clue. I think he's got no idea. But don't let me influence you.
No, I won't.
It's up to you. Because I've got a big stake in this. £4,000. So how's he going to do? Right or wrong?
Right.
He's going to get it right.
Yeah, he is.
If he does get it right, you both stay in. But if he gets it wrong, both of you leave. Colin, who replaced the late Alan Clark as MP for Kensington and Chelsea?
I think I'm going to let you down because I really don't think I know. I'll guess Jeffrey Archer.
The answer is Michael Portillo, so Colin, you're wrong. Which means Colin is out, he had to give me the right answer, and Beverly, who put all that faith and trust and hope into Colin and has been let down, both sit back down, you're out. And the lights are flickering again. I need somebody else to come up and choose an opponent they think they can read. Only 4 of us left, 5 including me. We're all a little bit closer to that £4,000. And it's Dermot. Dermot, I wonder if you're a good judge of character, good at sussing people out. Let's find out. Come and choose an opponent. Good job in the first round there. Bit of a stone face, but now you're confronted by 3 people giving you a taste of your own medicine. 3 very impassive-looking opponents. Whose knowledge can you trust?
Simone.
Simone, nice and smiley, looks quite relieved. Maybe she's pleased that the misery is ending for her. Simone, will you join us and face your question? Why Simone?
It's the most expressive fish.
Yeah? Here's the question. Don't answer, Simone. We want to hear from Dermot after he's studied you, whether you're going to get it right or wrong. You must get it right to stay in the game. Simone, who was the next elected president of the USA after Richard Nixon? Let's have a look at her. Smiling, but a bit of a swallow there. Would you have known this one yourself?
Yes.
So you're going to get it wrong or right?
I think I'll go for wrong.
She's going to get it wrong.
Oh.
She has to get it right to stay in the game. If she gets it right, she stays in, you sit down. Simone, who was the next elected president of the USA after Richard Nixon?
JF Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy. The answer we were looking for was Jimmy Carter. So, Simone, you are wrong. Dermot, you're still in the game, back in your place. Simone, I'm very happy to say, sit down, you're out. Now we're moving along. Only 3 contestants, 4 when you include me, and you have to because I'm still in line for that £4,000. Who's going to be up next? And it's Dermot. Once again, Dermot, will you join me now, please, and choose an opponent? Well, the last time round, you rejected Tony and Yvonne as kind of partners in crime because you want to rob my £4,000, but they're the only 2 left.
Try Yvonne, please.
So, Yvonne, he thinks he can read you. Maybe he's got faith in your general knowledge. Will you join us and face your question? Yvonne, you must get this right to stay in the game, to stay in the race. There's only 4 of us left. Dermot, all you've got to do is predict whether Yvonne answers this question correctly or incorrectly before you hear her answer. There's a lot riding on this for all of us. Yvonne, apart from the Queen, who else's face features on the £5 note? What do you reckon now, Dermot? Is she going to get this right or wrong? A lot of pressure.
I think she'll get it wrong.
You think she's going to get it wrong? Yvonne, you need to get it right to stay in the game. And if you do get it right, you'd have the satisfaction of getting rid of Dermot, who's convinced you're going to get it wrong. Yvonne, apart from the Queen, who else's face features on the £5 note?
I checked all my notes on the way here and I didn't have a fiver in my bag. So I knew them all. So I'm just going to have to guess.
Okay.
And I'll guess Shakespeare.
I was looking for one of the early inventors of the locomotive, George Stephenson. Yvonne, you're wrong. Which means, Dermot, you're still in the game. Yvonne, I'm happy to say it's been a long ride together. Sit back down, you're out. Okay, just 3 guys left in the game. There's Tony, there's Dermot, and there's me. Who's up next? So for the 3rd time in a row, it's Dermot. Will he have a hat-trick of victories, or will it be the only opponent left, Tony, who gets the money, or could it be me? Will you both join me now, please? So, Tony, I'm going to read a question. You must get it right to stay in the game. Dermot, though, has got to predict whether you get the answer right or wrong. And there's a little vested interest for me in this final one, because if you get the answer wrong, but Dermot thinks you're going to get it right, you're both out, and I get £4,000. That's the only way I can get paid for hosting today's show. Here's your question, Tony. Please don't answer. Let Dermot study you. We've all got a lot riding on this one. What is the name of Tony Blair's constituency? Don't answer. He's thinking, and so are you, and so am I. I'm thinking what I'd do with £4,000. I think he knows this, Dermot. I think he knows this. How could he not know it? Think about it. Man's won 2 general elections. Think very high-profile politics. How can he not know the answer to this? But don't let me influence you, because I want you to say he's going to get it right, and for Tony to get it wrong, because that's the only way I get £4,000. It's up to you. Would you know the answer?
Yeah.
You would? Haven't seen Tony up here for a long time. And then he was standing where you're standing. And it's not whether you know it or not, it's what you think Tony knows. I think he knows it. Look at the way he's confidently smiling at me, not at, oh, he's got a maybe not, though. Don't let me influence you. It's up to you.
Inscrutable.
Very inscrutable. He's got to know this, surely. It's your call, though. It's up to you. I'll read the question again. It's not going to change, though, Tony. What is the name of Tony Blair's constituency? Please don't answer. Is he going to get it right or wrong?
I'll go for wrong.
OK. You're saying wrong. If Tony gets it right, Tony gets £4,000. If Tony gets it wrong, Dermot gets £4,000. Oh, happy day. There's no way that I'm going to get any money for presenting the show today. But I haven't lost interest. I'm very keen to see how Tony copes and whether Tony or Dermot get that £4,000. Here's the question, Tony. Take your time. He thinks you're going to get it wrong. You have to get it right for £4,000. What is the name of Tony Blair's constituency?
I've got a choice of two. They both begin with H, and I think I'm wrong, but I'm going to go with Huntington.
You're going with Huntington?
Yeah.
What was the other one you were looking for?
Hatfield.
Tony, the answer is Sedgefield, so you are wrong. Tony, sit down, please. Commiserations, you are out. Dermot has won £4,000. And once again, I'm going home with absolutely nothing. Maybe I'll be a winner next time on No Win, No Fee. Make sure you're watching to find out, and fingers crossed for me.